too, but the good news is they're not as far along as people thought they were. At least it's not as what I thought they were. What's dangerous though is to sell these properties in the first place to private prison. Right? The privatization of prison in and of itself is a dangerous and slippery slope.
Absolutely.
To lease out bodies to work for private corporations for little or no money undermines working class communities, and it undermines democracy and justice altogether. So that by itself is a problem. What compounds it is to begin to sell it to an organization, a group of people who are going to be responsible for rounding up and housing folks that have committed no crimes at all. For rounding up people because of the way they look, the color of their skin, the accent, the nation they originate from. We saw what just happened when they shipped a whole bunch of people over to El Salvador. That many of those folks had no criminal records at all.
Wow.
They were rounded up. A few of them had a couple of tattoos of their family members, and they accused them of being in gangs. And they went through a terrible and horrible situation, and their rights were violated. We saw in Newark when ICE raided a fish market and violated people's constitutional rights. Now I want to say, like, there are folks who might not agree with me or on the other side about how immigrants contribute to our economy, how they pay $1 billion worth of state and local taxes. They might not agree that we should have a better pathway to citizenship. They might not agree that I don't think immigrants are criminals in and of themselves. They might not agree with that, but what they cannot disagree with is that we cannot undermine the Constitution of the United States of America. That we have to uphold the Bill of Rights, that we have to uphold the Fourth Amendment of the Constitution against illegal search and seizure, to be safe in our papers, in our persons, in our property. And we can't undermine the 14th Amendment of the Constitution of due process or the 5th Amendment of the Constitution of due process, because once you begin doing that, America ceases being America. People came here, the only thing that separates us from any other place is that Constitution and those Bill of Rights. And the minute you start eroding those things and taking it away, you're pulling the floor from under people who came here. And my family came from the South, fleeing segregation and Jim Crow, who found their way to Newark trying to find a democracy and an opportunity that didn't exist for them in North Carolina. When you pull that away from people, you're pulling the very essence of America away from them. So our fight here is a fight for the Constitution.